Hello everybody, it's Sherry Shrallow coming to you from my kitchen. This is our third Facebook Live, and today we are going to have a great time in the kitchen. I have to tell you first though that, during these rather challenging days, it is always helpful to have something really positive happen in your day. So I want you to take a look at what I received in the mail for my precious 5-year-old granddaughter Aubrey yesterday. Look at this artwork. She worked so hard to make her grandma these pictures, and I told her I would proudly display them today on our Facebook Live. So thank you, Aubrey, and keep those pictures coming. They just brighten my day. I can't even tell you how much they mean to me, so thanks again. So let me tell you a little bit about why I chose the menu that I chose today. I have so many hundreds and hundreds of recipes that I make, but it all goes back to last Sunday when Dale and I went to Whole Foods. Now, Dale is my husband and famous videographer here. We went as quickly as we could during the senior hours, because we're both over 60, to get a few things on my list. So I said, okay, here's the game plan, Dale. I'm going in, I've got my mask, got my gloves, I've got my cart. You hold the cart, you follow me wherever I go. Put the food in the cart. I'll toss it to you, throw it in. So we're going along, we're doing just fine. We get all of our produce and head over to the tofu section, which is a little distance away. I look into the cart and I said, Dale, did you put some Brussels sprouts in our cart? I didn't know you wanted them. He said, I didn't put Brussels sprouts in our cart. I said, well, then what are they doing here? And I start looking in the cart. It's not my cart. Some of the items are mine, though most of them aren't. So I said, oh my gosh, hurry up. We're going back to the produce department. So we're trying to put stuff back, in our cart and give this person back their stuff. We didn't see the other person, thank goodness. So we get home, and for some reason, I didn't go to the checkout counter. I waited in the car. I come home, and I have 2 huge cauliflowers because Dale had forgotten to put one back in this woman's cart. So that's why we're going to be making cauliflower steaks, because I have enough cauliflower to feed an army. So let's get started tonight. What we're going to do first is I'm going to show you how to make the most delicious almond milk at home. The reason I do this is because if you look at the ingredients on a lot of the almond milks that you can buy in the store, you're going to find a lot of things that you can't pronounce. And my rule of thumb is if you can't pronounce it, don't get it. So here's an easy way to do that. So let's come over here. So what we're going to do, we're going to use our Vitamix blender. This is a really high-powered blender, so you really do need something like this when you're making this almond milk. So I come over here and I have some almonds that I've pre-soaked for about 6 to 8 hours. And look how they look when you've soaked them in clear water. They look sort of yucky and dirty. So we have to rinse them and clean them off. So that's what we're going to do first. We're just going to rinse the almonds like such. And then I'm going to carry them over to the blender, and I'm just going to put them in. Now, the recipes are all on my Facebook page, so you won't have to worry about writing anything down. So I'm making a bigger recipe because we drink a lot of this and we use it in our oat milk every day, oatmeal rather. So I'm going to put the almonds into the blender. And then I've taken 6 medjool dates because I've made a 1.5 of the recipe. And I love medjool dates because they give the almond milk this sweetness. So when we have our steel-cut oats in the morning, they are sweet naturally. You don't have to add brown sugar or any kind of sugar. This is our natural sweetener. The next thing we do is I'm going to add a drop of vanilla. I don't even measure it. I just do a little splash of vanilla, like such. And then we take water. I took filtered water and I put it in the Vitamix. Now it's going to make a large amount, so I'm going to probably have to save about 1 cup of this water, and I'll add it in later. So all I do is pour water into the Vitamix blender. We'll stop about there so we don't have an explosion. Not that it explodes, but you don't want to overfill it. And I'm going to turn it on, so get ready for the noise for the next minute or so. Now I probably would let it go maybe a minute longer or so, but I think it's fine. So now we're going to take our little extra water, and I'm coming over to the sink. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this big bowl that I use to make my milk, and I've got this thing that is like a nut bag. You can pour liquids through it, and it'll keep the solid particles in, and the liquid will come out. So all you do is put this into a bowl, and my hands have been washed, so have no fear. And I'm going to pour it into this bag. And look at the color, and look how pretty it looks already coming through the bag. And then, as I used to do with my grandson Ethan in Ohio, is we're going to milk the almonds. He got such a kick out of this when he was about 6 or 7 years old. Now let me add the rest of the water through the bag so that can blend in. And all you do is you gather the bag and you hold it tight at the top and you start to squeeze it. Just like you're milking a cow, but we're milking the almond bag. And this will last us probably 3 days, would you say, Dan?
Yeah, I'd say that 3 or 4 days.
So it takes a little bit of work to get all of this milk out. And Dale usually does this because that's his job, to make the almond milk. But he gets a break today.
Got to be a little patient.
Yes.
With this.
It's coming though. Now some people save the almonds that are in the bag and make nut butter out of it. So you can do that if you'd like. I don't have a recipe with me at the moment for that, but we can always look it up if you're curious. Dale, have there been any questions since we started?
Okay. None yet.
If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask, and I'll do my best to answer them. Okay, we're just about done squeezing out the milk. It's a good workout too, isn't it? It gives your arms a good workout. Okay, so let me just wash my hands for a minute. And this is what it looks like. Isn't that pretty? Now let's grab, let's get a pitcher out and pour it in. Here it is. And all you do is pour this lovely homemade almond milk into your pitcher. See, that's quite a bit, so that will last us at least 3-4 days. And it stays fresh that long. And into the fridge it goes. All right. All right. So, you know, I am part of Plant-Based Nutrition Movement. I'm on the board, and I head the culinary committee with my good friend Karen Cornick. And I just wanted to say a few words about the work that we're doing during this pandemic. You know, we can't hold in-person meetings anymore, so I am doing these cooking demonstrations. Karen Cornick is doing them on Facebook Live, as well as several other people. I think next week, on Sunday, Karen Cornick will do hers at 4 p.m. on Sunday, and then Joan, I'm blocking out on her last name. Excuse me, Joan, for a minute. My goodness. Joan Davis. Oh, my goodness. Joan Davis will be doing a little bit of a lecture, not a cooking demo. She is not someone who likes to cook, but she has learned how to make simple meals, and she's going to share with you some of her tips. So excuse me for having a senior moment there. All right, so we'll keep you informed at pbnm.org. And I have a notice up here. If anyone would like to please donate to our wonderful nonprofit, we would certainly appreciate it. Every little bit helps so that we can continue our wonderful programming throughout the Chicagoland area. We're teaching people how to eat healthy, one meal at a time, plant-based nutrition. That's the way to go to keep your immune system healthy and strong, and to avoid getting all of the chronic diseases like heart disease, diabetes, autoimmune diseases, and certain cancers. So please investigate, look into it, and we're here to help you and support you in your journey. So let's get on to the next. The cauliflower steaks. Dale and I love these. They're really tasty and they're so easy to make. So I've got my recipe up here. So I'm going to show you how to make the sauce. It's like a hummus sauce that goes on top of the cauliflower. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take a big cauliflower and you're going to slice it into these big pieces. Now this recipe comes from one of my favorite cookbooks, the Prevent and Reverse Heart Disease Cookbook, written by Jane Esselstyn and Ann Kreil Esselstyn, a mother-daughter team out of Cleveland. And this is a no-oil, no-fat recipe, which I love. So you can make homemade hummus, and you don't have to use tahini, which is a sesame paste, which is quite high in fat. So this is the healthiest version of a hummus that you're ever going to see. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make the hummus in a food processor. So I've got mine ready to go here. And what I did is I took 1 can of chickpeas, no salt chickpeas, and I drained and rinsed them, and we put them into our little machine here. Then we're going to take 2 tablespoons of fresh lemon juice. We're going to take 1.5 tablespoons of a spicy brown mustard. This is organic spicy brown mustard. And you can add a little more or a little less according to taste, however much you like. Then we take my favorite garlic, just some chopped up garlic. I think I put about 2 cloves in. And again, if you don't like it that garlicky, you can make 1 clove. And then we add just a little bit of water, like about 2 tablespoons of water. And this is going to make our hummus base. So here we go. Get ready for some noise. Just check it and see how it's doing. Okay, it's getting there, getting there. I'm going to just push this all back down so all of this gets blended. We want it to be very smooth consistency because this is what's going to top our cauliflower steak. Pepper. Give it 1 more blast with the food processor. And that's it. Homemade hummus. Made easily. So let's take this off. Now what we're going to do, we're going to enhance this hummus with a few other ingredients. So I'm going to bring this over here. Now let me talk about what we're going to do. We're going to put this, first of all, in this bowl. We get my little spatula here. I empty this. And then we're going to add what I call the secret ingredients to make this exceptionally good. If we ever have any leftovers that we don't put on the cauliflower steaks, we end up just eating it as hummus with vegetables or crackers. So it's delicious, it's very versatile, and it's very, very tasty. Okay. So here's what we're going to add to this. So I want to show you, first of all, these vinegars that I'm using. As you can see, this is from a company called the Olive Tap. This is the best premium white balsamic vinegar I have ever had. I have to tell you, I use their vinegars so often. I think I have, about 6 bottles. Hold on, let me show you. This is pretty funny. I have all these empty bottles here. Can you see them? Ready to be refilled because I go through so many. So we've got to get back over there and when they open back up again and get some more. Okay, so that is one of our secret ingredients. Now this is something that we use every single day. This is the best thick balsamic vinegar you're ever going to see. So thank you, Olive Tap, for staying in business. Yeah, thank you, Olive Tap, for staying in business. My husband's reminding me to tell you where they're located. First of all, you can buy these online. They will ship them to you. You can call them. But they are located in, let me see if I can say this, Manitou Springs, Colorado, Ankeny, Iowa, Crystal Lake, Illinois, Long Grove, Illinois, where I go, Medina, Ohio, go Ohio, that's where we're from, and Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So check them out. You'll enjoy them. We just put this on salad without anything else. It's so delicious. Okay. So we're going to add that in, and we're going to add about 2 tablespoons of the white vinegar, and then we're going to put an extra tablespoon on top of the cauliflower steaks when you're done. Now this is that nutritional yeast that we talked about on the last couple of classes. Comes in a canister like this. You can buy this at Whole Foods, and it has a very nutty, cheesy taste. So we're going to add that in. And last but not least, it calls for white onions, but we didn't have any, so I didn't feel like rushing back to Whole Foods with Dale after the fiasco last week. We're staying away from there for a while, and we're going to add just a little red onion. All you do then is by hand just take a spoon and mix it up, and we are good to go. All right, see how it's looking? Nice and thick. Okay. Okay, so all we're going to do now is I'm going to take this mixture that we've made and I'm going to put it on top of our cauliflower steaks that have been cut and laid flat on a baking sheet lined with parchment paper so that they don't stick. And I think we've preheated the oven to about, I think it's 450. Let me just double check. Yeah, 450 degrees. Because you really have to let these bake, and they get all brown and crispy on top. They're just delicious. Now it says in the cookbook, Ann Esselstyn's cookbook, to let them bake for about 30 minutes. I let them go longer because I want the cauliflower to be softer. So I do mine about 45, 50 minutes and just keep checking it in your own oven to make sure they're not getting too browned. Although I don't think you can make these too brown. See, I'm going to use all this up because this is a lot of cauliflower. There we go. No leftovers for us, Dale. Nope. Okay, so what we do then is we would put these into a 450 degree oven, and the magic of Facebook Live. Look what they look like when they come out of the oven. Aren't those gorgeous? I just want to stick my head in there and eat the whole thing right now. Looks pretty good. So this is what they're like. You can serve this with a nice salad. You can make a sweet potato or some pasta with it and enjoy. So that's that. So before we do our last little cooking demo here with charoset, and that is a Hebrew word which means apples and walnuts and cinnamon and grape juice or wine, I just wanted to share with you a couple of the cookbooks that I find really helpful. So my good friend Del Sroof, who's in Columbus, Ohio, hi Del, I hope you're watching, started with this cookbook. It's the Forks Over Knives cookbook. As you can tell, it's quite regularly used. The pages are torn out. I've got food on a lot of the pages because I use it a lot, but it's wonderful. And then Chef Del Sroof has also done other cookbooks like the China Study Quick and Easy Cookbook, which has really simple recipes with really delicious foods. Let's see, the China Study Family Cookbook, which I love. And then another dear friend of mine, Leanne Campbell, wrote the China Study Cookbook. I love her cookbook as well as Kim Campbell's cookbook, the Plant Pure Nation Cookbook. Love Kim's recipes. And so I actually have written a book myself about my journey with heart disease and surviving a near-fatal heart attack. And in the back of my book, I have all of my favorite recipes from a lot of these folks and others who have given me permission to share them with you. So, you know, during this time of being in the house, we can no longer say we don't have time to cook. You've got all the time in the world. So join me in this journey of learning how to make these nutritious and delicious foods that will keep your immune system healthy and keep your body just functioning optimally. I'm just tripping on my words left and right today. Okay, let's get to the last thing. Haroset. So this is the holiday of Passover that I'm celebrating with Dale this week. And one of the traditional foods is this haroset, which is an apple, walnut, cinnamon, and as I said, either grape juice or wine concoction. So all you do is you cut up an apple and some walnuts, and you put them in a bowl. And I use this as almost like a dessert now, because it's so yummy. We've already gone through one batch, so this will be our second. And there goes the walnuts that I've chopped everything nice and fine. And then you take some cinnamon. I'm using some Vietnamese cinnamon, ground cinnamon, and you give a good amount of cinnamon. There we go. And then we take a little grape juice or wine, just a little bit. You don't want to make it too mushy. And we get a spoon. And all we do is we just mix it up. And you let this all blend together. And I'll tell you, it's even better the second day. So make a lot of it, because you'll be snacking on it, I promise you. And that is it. Isn't that pretty? Now, this is what I serve it on. So there are a lot of different crackers in the world, but the one that I think is the best, and this just happens to be something that we eat traditionally during Passover, it's called matzah. And it's a whole wheat matzah. And the only thing in this is whole wheat and water. It has absolutely no sodium. It has no cholesterol, no fat. It does have 4 grams of dietary fiber and 4 grams of protein. So this is what we do. So we break our matzah into a little piece, and we take our haroset, and you simply put it on here. And if you don't mind, I think I'm going to have a taste of it. Let me see how it came out. Really good. Delicious. I could eat this for a snack every day of the year. All right. Are there any questions, Dale?
No.
Okay. So if any questions do come up, feel free to contact me through Facebook Messenger. And I'm going to be off for a week or two. We're moving into our new home starting next week. So we will have other people doing cooking demos. So please watch for them on pbnm.org. And go to our website and check out all of the great resources that we have and programs. And I hope to see you when I get back. Thanks for joining us today.